To the story now, tourists are expected to flock to Cape Town beaches this festive season. From other cities gearing up to welcome them with open arms. 600 lifeguards are being deployed to beaches and swimming pools. eNCA's Monique Mortlock joins us now with the very latest. Good morning, Monique. So what exactly will be happening with the 600? Have they already been trained? They're ready to be deployed, or they also have actually reinforced?
They are being gradually deployed as we see the public swimming pools opening up for the summer season. And today we are here at the Big Bay Surf Lifesaving Club, and we actually saw some of the lifeguards here just demonstrating to us how they go about rescuing someone who might be in trouble in the water. And while they were busy with their demonstration, there were actually a few people who actually got into trouble, and these lifeguards then were able to show us how they respond in a real scenario. So it was interesting to see just how quickly they responded, how quickly they were able to see these people in trouble in the water, what they do once they remove the person from the water, and also the first aid the first aid techniques that they employ when trying to resuscitate someone, especially while waiting for those paramedics to arrive on the scene. Some of the lifeguards that we spoke to today say that their biggest challenge, especially those who have been in the game for over 20 years, their biggest challenge is always people not listening, whether it be locals, whether it be tourists, those people who, it's usually the people who make their jobs difficult, who don't adhere to the rules, especially when it comes to not drinking on the beaches, because drinking in a public space is obviously not allowed, and this is often what hampers lifeguards in their duties. But lifeguards say they are ready for this bumper festive season that we're expecting. These lifeguards will be on duty up until March, the end of summer, and the City of Cape Town as well as Western Cape government is expecting this to be one of the busiest tourism seasons yet. A little earlier this month, I heard from Western Cape government that they are expecting tourists alone to generate an income of about 7.9 billion rand in the tourism sector. That's just for these next couple of months that we are seeing. And in fact, this number can be even higher, because right now in the City of Cape Town, we've been seeing at least 194 flights taking place every week. Those are flights coming into the city, bringing in visitors, and that's just your international visitors. And obviously we can also expect domestic tourists as well. I spoke to Cape Town's Mayor Jordan Hill-Lewis a little earlier just about the investment that the city is making into ensuring our beaches, our public swimming pools, and also the CBD is safe during this season. This is what he had to say.
These lifeguards are employed for the summer season. They probably finish around March next year. And that alone costs us tens of millions, because we have a huge influx of extra lifeguards. You can see the boats, the rescue skis, the equipment that they have. We've built new lifeguard stands in some of our busiest beaches, lifeguard huts for them to work in. So it's a huge investment, but it's absolutely worth it if it means Cape Townians and visitors from South Africa, Gauteng, KZN, wherever, and of course from around the world, can enjoy our magnificent city safely.
No, it's most certainly heartening to hear that they're not sparing a cent for at least some of the beachgoers and their safety, but also even for the tourism in Cape Town. But what are some of the tips for the beachgoers that perhaps the lifeguards shared with you?
Number one, the most important one, is to always stay within the flags that is placed on the beaches. These flags you will see, it's either yellow flags or red flags on the city's beaches. We know that lifeguards will be deployed to about 32 public swimming pools across the city and 29 beaches. And people have been asked to only swim at beaches where they see lifeguards are present, where they see that there are flags, especially those who may not be as confident confident in the water. And parents of children have been asked to please keep an eye on their children. This year already we have seen 29 drownings taking place in the city of Cape Town. And obviously lifeguards are hoping to have a reduced number, especially this festive season, even though usually around about this time they see a spike in drownings simply because people aren't adhering to the lifeguards' instructions or adhering to those safety precautions on the beaches. And then probably one of the most important ones is to not drink on the beaches or to not come intoxicated to the beaches, to the swimming pools. Lifeguards say that sometimes they see it's not only the adults who imbibe illegally on the beaches or come intoxicated to these bodies of water, but sometimes it's young people, it's the youth that also come intoxicated or high on some substance, and this then puts them not only themselves at risk but also the other patrons on the beach, because they can then do something that may endanger others, like leave bottles on the beaches, and these bottles break. Other children step in the bottles or people step in the bottles, causing injuries. So those three are among the most important tips that lifeguards had to give. One lifeguard, Wayne Fasach, he's a senior lifeguard here at Big Bay. He was saying that he's been a lifeguard for almost 24 years, and he was saying that his biggest challenge is always people not listening, people just ignoring what the lifeguards had to say, thinking that they can go into the water. Like here, for example, at Big Bay, where rip currents are an everyday norm. And obviously the lifeguards know how to handle it, but people might not be able to. You can be the strongest swimmer in your group of friends, but sometimes a rip current doesn't care how strong of a swimmer you are, and this is why the lifeguards caution people against not swimming where they aren't supposed to.
Hopefully this festive season, most of those beachgoers will adhere to those rules. Monique, thank you very much for that update. That's a reporter, Monique Mortlock.